So today I am going to talk about the Pinterest strategy that I was using that got me numbers high enough to get into Mediavine's program. Hi, I'm Megan Hernandez with electricmommy.com, and I have actually been blogging for almost 8 years, and I got accepted into Mediavine early on, then I got kicked out because I took a few years where I just neglected the blog, wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, and then came back, and I am back with Mediavine again. So I'm excited, and I'm going to just share some different stuff that I've done along the way. And hopefully this will help another blogger, especially one that's trying to get into the Mediavine program. So this is the Pinterest strategy that was working really well for me, but I have to say it goes against everything that they teach you. I am constantly watching videos, learning from other people, reading different blog posts about different Pinterest strategies. I'm reading the content that Pinterest puts out as far as best practices and what they say that you should be doing. So I have, I've learned it all, I've heard it all, and what I was doing was kind of almost really against so much of what they said to do. However, it was working for me. So I'm going to share with you what I was doing and also kind of an experiment that I have going on, because this is the strategy, like I said, that I used all the way up until January. The beginning of January actually kind of marks the beginning of a new Pinterest strategy that I'm taking on my account. So I'm going to see what does better. I brought on a girl to actually help me with this who does everything the way that Pinterest says that you should. So we'll see. Again, I'm going to share with you today in this video what I was doing up until January. So for the past year and a half, and this was working for me, and it got my my blog up to 50,000 sessions. And now today we're at 60,000 sessions, so it's still growing. So here's what I was doing. Over to Pinterest. This is my account. I have my logo up in the banner section at the top. And then I'll just talk really quick about a few tips I have for setting up your profile, but I won't dive too deep into those. I'm going to save this video more for my Pinterest strategy, but just a couple quick notes. You really want to be thinking of keywords pretty much everywhere. Using good relevant keywords in your Pinterest profile title, description, board titles, and the board descriptions is key, because Pinterest is a search engine just like Google, but really for images and ideas, which is kind of cool. So when people search for topics, Pinterest pulls results based on the words used in those profiles and pins. So you can see right here, I'm kind of experimenting. Before I just had Electric Mommy Recipes or Electric Mommy Blog, but now I added Easy Mexican and American Recipes because that's, based off of the content that I share. I want people who are looking up those kind of recipes to find me. So I'm kind of experimenting with this one here. Here's the description, where you also want to be mindful of just, again, keywords. And then we'll scroll down. I'm going to click on the saved section, and you can kind of see here how my boards are set up, where you have, these are the ones that I use the most, and also the boards that are most relevant to my content. So again, since I mostly share recipes, all these boards at the top are ones that apply, to most of what I share. And then I will also show you, if you scroll down to the bottom, any board right here that has these circles to the next, to the right of the title name are other contributors. So this means that these are group boards that I do use. Now, I know group boards are kind of like a hot topic, but I will explain how I use them in just a minute, because they are a part of my strategy. Again, I'm not saying this is the right or wrong way to do it. There's only about 4 that I do use, but I am showing you exactly what I was doing, and this is part of it. So setup is really important, just making sure your boards, your title, your profile, all that has all the right keywords in it. But assuming that you've kind of already done that, mine's been set up like this for a while. I will now go ahead and show you what my step-by-step process is for when I do a blog post, how I pin. So as soon as I'm done with my blog post over in WordPress, over here, here's one I was just working on, I will come over to Canva and make my image. This is a whole other topic I could go into as far as how to make a good, appealing Pinterest image, as far as what size Pinterest likes, There's all kinds of different things I could talk about here, but I will save that for another video. I will make one about how to make these the best they can be. But to keep this quick, I will just explain that here is where the step that I would make my image. Pretty much as soon as I'm done with all my WordPress stuff, I come over, make my Pinterest image, then I save it, download. I am going to save it. And now this is where my step is pretty unconventional. I go ahead and I add it into the blog post. So after my recipe card, because that's usually the last thing in my post, after that, I will add the Pinterest image that I just made. So that will live within the blog post. So readers can see it. I usually only do one. This is not a good example. There's two for a different reason, but I'll usually just put one image down here. And again, this isn't something most people do. Most will pin the image directly into Pinterest, but like I said, I'm sharing with you my unconventional strategy, and this is the step we're on. Okay, so we made the Pinterest image. I came over here, put it in WordPress, saved. Now when people are on the website, we're just going to scroll down. After the recipe card here is the Pinterest image. And this is actually where I personally save it for the first time. So I will save from my own image in here. There's two different ways. I either have the save button here or this little widget over here. I will pull up the board that I want to save it to first. Now, this is the kind of important part. The first board that I save it to is the most relevant board out of my own. So I do not pin to a group board for the first pin for this post. So for me, I have a breakfast board. I'm going to go ahead and pin this to. And that's it. So this saved just like that from here over to my, let's see, come over to Pinterest, and this should be on my breakfast board here. And here it is. So I actually saved this yesterday. I didn't click save again, but it is here from yesterday. And then I can click on this image, and I can even right here click the board, and this is what I do. So I just pinned it to one of my own boards, and now I'm going to go also pin it to one of the group boards that I use, Delicious Eats. And now I was able to just pin that 2 times. So I just pinned it to one of my own boards, and I just pinned it to this group board, Delicious Eats. Now I can't keep doing it this way. Pinterest won't let me click this to save it to another board. It'll actually just take me to that group board. So if I want to do it that way again, I can. I just have to go back to my blog and again, just go from here. Save, pick a board, and then save it. So my strategy is a little bit different because I will actually do what Pinterest considers spamming. So I make that blog post, insert the image into my blog post, then I go pin that image that's in my blog post over to Pinterest anywhere from 3 to 4 times. And then I would just randomly come back over to my Pinterest page, go on my created tab, and then just randomly kind of go in here, click a random pin, and then I would come into the same area and just go repin it to another relevant board or another group board. Do another recipe one here. And that's it. Now it was just saved to best recipes ever. And I would just randomly go through my account and go repin pins like this. However, I have nothing in the title field, and it brings the title over in the description area. So it does link it properly here. It will bring the link and it will link back to your content. However, this was putting nothing in the title area and just the title and the description. And again, for some reason, this was working for me. It took me a little while before I realized that it was missing this information. But again, it was working and I just kept going with it. For the last 30 days, these are my top pins. This is the top one over here with almost 500,000 impressions. This column over here will show you the impressions it's been getting for the last 30 days. And again, I was using this strategy. So something about it was working. It's weird. Again, it goes against everything that they tell you to do. So take or leave what you want from this. So that's been my strategy up till the beginning of this year. And again, I can't stress enough how much this is just my own strategy. I just wanted to be really transparent about it. However, it goes against like everything that Pinterest says to do. So the beginning of this year is when I brought someone on to kind of take over and do it the right way, or the way that Pinterest says that you should do it. And then I'm gonna compare kind of what was going on last year versus what we're doing this year. So I will share a different video explaining what her strategy is and just updating what the differences are or what we find along the way. So subscribe to kind of find out what happens on this Pinterest experiment. I really hope you found some of it helpful. Thanks for watching.